Toxins. What's the big deal about toxins? There are a lot of physicians and medical doctors who will tell you that there's no such thing as a detox. And, all this talk about toxins is a whole lot of hogwash. It's very frustrating for me. When we opened the clinic 18 years ago, one of the first things I did was teach patients about living a low toxin lifestyle. And it was really important because at the time, we didn't have a lot of data about all the things we know today about it. But what I did know is that if you have a lot of toxins that accumulate in your body, it interferes with how hormones can work. And ever since we opened the clinic, I've been known for hormone balancing, especially bioidentical hormone balancing. And so people from all over the country would consult with us because of my specialty in bioidentical hormones. Why did people want bioidentical hormones? Because they knew that something more natural to the body instead of synthetic was going to be better for them. And these select group of people at the time were well aware that balancing hormones led to vitality. It was helped along by people like Suzanne Summers and Oprah and Dr. Phil, because they were trying these things with physicians who specialized in bioidentical hormones and finding amazing results. When I started in the field, I have to admit that at the very outset, my results were sort of hit and miss. I'd done lots of training in bioidentical hormones and how to prescribe it, but I noticed that some people had amazing results and then others had meh or no results. It was very confusing to me. So I sat and I thought about it, and I thought, how can I make this better? And how can I get even better results? And I started to think about, how do hormones work? They work like a lock and a key, right? So you have a cell receptor, and then the hormone gets there and unlocks it and says, do this work. So if it's insulin, it'll unlock the cell receptor for insulin and say, let's move sugar in and out of into the cell, or store it wherever it needs to go. If it's thyroid hormone, it's going to say, let's make more energy, let's do any of the thyroid is a bad example because there's just so many symptoms, right? When you have low thyroid, you have everything from low energy to mood issues to irregular cycles to constipation and skin issues. So in any event, it's saying, do that work. If you have toxins in the way, the hormone can't get to the cell receptor and tell it to do the work. And so you have a whole host of people being told your tests are all normal. So your thyroid tests are all normal. Your testosterone levels are all normal. Yet you're researching it and finding that your tests are all normal, but you're not, because you have every symptom of being low in some hormone. And that's where I came up with the fact that we have things in our biochemistry that are blocking how we can make and use hormones. So I started putting everybody on a detox program. And I had a lot of patients have their doctors completely laugh at me because there was no such thing. Now, yes, please don't go and do this cleanse that acts like Drano and you're going to sit on the toilet all day long. That's not a detox. It might be for other reasons or whatever it is that you think you're doing. But for me, a detox is a very specific process by which we're helping your body move out toxins. So I'll pause there and we'll just talk about toxins first. Then why does your body have trouble with them? And then how to get rid of them. So toxic molecules are all man-made chemicals, and some are natural, like heavy metals, like mercury, lead, cadmium. There's a whole host of them. Bismuth can even accumulate in your body in toxic levels. Now, toxic doesn't mean like mercury poisoning, where they say mad as a hatter and you have all these symptoms. You can have a toxic burden that's higher than it should be. Well, you shouldn't have any in your body, actually, but higher than what you can tolerate, and it's impacting how your cells and your enzyme systems in your body work, but low enough that you're not in the hospital being treated through the regular medical system. So all of functional medicine looks at you before you get fully sick and diagnosed and treated. We're looking at you to optimize how your body works. And so our tolerance for certain things are very different than in a traditional medical model. So let's say that at the start. So toxic molecules, as I said, are man-made chemicals, and I always have patients look at them in different categories. So one category would be your body care. So everything from the tip of your hair down to your toenails. Yes, my hair's blue. For many years, I said I would never color my hair because it involves a lot of toxins. And then in my late 40s, I went, 70% gray and thought, not so cool. And then I thought, if I'm going to color my hair, why be boring? Okay. But never mind that. Think hair shampoo, conditioner, any kind of hair product that you're using. Think about on your face, your eye makeup, lip thing. Whatever all women put on their faces. They don't wear makeup, so I'm not as familiar with everything. But I know there's foundation and primer, and maybe I got the order different. And then there's blusher and lipstick and eye shadows of different colors. And some of these eyeshadows and lip colors have heavy metals in them because lead has a beautiful red pigment. And we know for a lot of years lead was used in red lipstick, believe it or not. What else? Hair. Think about body care. So your hand lotion, your body lotion, your stretch mark cream, and your firming cream, and your who knows what all creams you put, right? And then you have something for your feet and your foot balm and whatever. So that's body care. Think about your home care, all of the different cleaners that you're using. They have man-made chemicals in them, toxic molecules that interfere with how your cells can function. So perhaps your fatigue is because you've got too many toxic molecules accumulating in your body and interfering with how your mitochondria can make energy. So tub and tile cleaner, toilet bowl cleaner, counter cleaner, kitchen this, glass that, whatever all the types of cleaners you have. Then think of your laundry. So volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are very, very toxic to your cells and how they can work. And they're found in your laundry stuff. So if you're using dryer sheets and all these scented things for your laundry, they're actually accumulating in your body and affecting how your hormones can work and how your cells can breathe and make energy. Big deal, right? So home care, body care, food. Food is a big one. Herbicides, pesticides, chemicals, preservatives, colorants, additives to flavor enhance things. The list is endless. Read labels and see what the toxins are. Some of your colorants and ingredients for food come from coal tar. Like, you wouldn't eat that. Milk and meat, if the animals are treated with hormones and antibiotics, and their food is artificially enhanced, the quality of meat and the quality of milk you're going to get, which I don't think anyone should have milk, but it's going to add toxins and chemicals into your body. So if you make hormones from your biochemistry and you use hormones in your biochemistry, then your biochemistry needs to be very optimal. Now, toxins circulate in your biochemistry and they block the cell receptor sites. Now, even if you think that this sounds like a whole bunch of unbelievable nonsense, understand that 50 and 60 years ago, 70 years ago, we did not have as many chemicals in the environment as we do today. So the total body burden of toxins was a lot less because our exposure was a lot less. Now we have over 130,000 new chemicals in the environment today. Think of home renovations. Think of paints and fumes and glues and whatever else is going on that you're breathing, and you can't even see these things, and they're getting into your body, right? So you have all these toxic molecules coming in at a faster rate than they ever have before, and they're accumulating. And because there's so much, there's like a traffic jam in your liver in the enzyme pathways, and so there's a whole backlog of toxins that can't make their way out. As opposed to if you had very few, your body might be able to process them out, and your total body burden would remain low. So some people cannot eliminate toxins because of genetic things. So we call these SNPs, SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms. And about 47% of the population have a mutation for methylation called MTHFR. I know, sounds like a terrible, dirty word, doesn't it? MTHFR. But that's not the only methylating gene. There's dozens of other genes that influence methylation and detoxification, including ones that affect your glutathione levels, which is another master antioxidant and helps you lower toxins. So if you have these genetic SNPs, you might do well in a very low toxin environment. Like, let's say you lived on a little island somewhere, grew your own food, you had clean, fresh air, and you drank water from the river and it was all clean, right? So then you may have no issues. But then you live in the modern world and you have every kind of toxin coming at you, including the ones you can't see. You might live near an airport and there's jet fuel combustion. Well, I guess you don't even have to live near an airport. Your car's burning gasoline, there's diesel exhaust fumes. All these are very, very toxic to your cells. And if you're a poor detoxifier because of your genetics, then the more you're exposed to, the more it accumulates until you reach what I call a tipping point. And this is when people show up at my door. They have all sorts of symptoms, everything from itchy eyes and runny, stuffy nose to postnasal drip to insomnia. They can't sleep. Why? Because toxins accumulate in fatty tissue, and your brain is mostly fat. They have trouble with their metabolism. They can't burn fat. They can starve. They can fast. They can do keto. They can do whatever they want, and they just cannot lose weight. They've got anxiety and mood issues, and they've got aches and pains, and they've got joint pain and muscle aches or whatever the heck it is going on. And then their tests are all normal. And I say to them, look at your scores on your toxic screen MSQ, and this tells me that your body does not process out toxins efficiently. And it tells me that your exposure over time has led to an accumulation. So even if you're a good detoxifier genetically and you don't have any of these issues with detoxification, you might still have a high burden of toxins because of your exposures. So maybe your hobbies, maybe your obsession with being germ-free, and you're using hand sanitizer and Lysol, and you wipe everything down and you bleach everything. These are all toxic molecules coming at you, and they slowly accumulate. So you could be a poor detoxifier and have trouble a lot earlier based on the amount of exposure, or you could be a good detoxifier and still the amount of exposure is what causes the issue. So we want to facilitate your body's ability to remove it regardless of your genetics. And how we do that is with nutrients. We know which nutrients optimize the liver enzyme pathways that get rid of toxins from your body. And we use these nutrients and medical food so that your body has what it needs, independent of your genetics, to be able to process out toxins. And this is how patients get incredible results. They sleep better within 2 to 3 weeks of being on the program. They have a healthier mood, happier mood, better sleep. They're starting to lose weight in the places that matter, burn fat, let's say, right? And so people will say, my waist is now starting to show, my belly is flatter, my belly fat is less. I might not have lost a lot of weight on the scale, but I can see it in my body. My aches and pains are gone. Toxins block the mitochondria. Mitochondria are your cell powerhouses that make energy. A lot of things, from heavy metals to different petroleum-based products that we make chemicals from, all of these things can block how the mitochondria make energy. So fatigue is a big deal in people who have a higher body burden of toxins, especially when their thyroid is normal, their iron count is normal, and all of that. So toxins come from everything and everywhere around you. You cannot really control your exposure. You can up to a point in all the areas I mentioned. So your home care, body care, your personal care products, your nails, your hair, all of those things. Your food is a big one. You can control the environment inside your house by getting an air purifier. You can have, certain air purifiers are better than others because you want something that can get to the VOCs and all the little particles. There's something now, the microparticles at 2.5, and so these particles come from like smoke and combustion and burning things, and we know that it impacts your immune system and your overall health. So be aware of toxins, get rid of the exposure to the ones you can manage, and then protect yourself against the ones that you cannot have any control over. And how you do that is, one, the Metabolic Optimizer is a wonderful, wonderful product to help keep your cells healthy and keep your liver helping you move out toxins regularly. Cell Deep Clean is another great liver support. What that does on a daily basis is optimize how your liver works. Glutathione is the next one. It is the master antioxidant. It neutralizes free radicals. The reason you want to look after free radicals, glutathione mops up toxins and helps you get rid of it, but it also helps with free radicals. And why free radicals are important is they damage cells and they damage DNA. They create what's called oxidative stress and they accelerate aging. So when you have a high burden of toxins, you will notice that, one, you have lots of hormone symptoms that can't be explained by your blood tests because they might look normal for the most part. Two, you will have low energy because your cells can't make enough energy. And then the free radicals are damaging the mitochondria as well. And one of the things you should know about mitochondria is that mitochondria are important for healthy aging and longevity. And when your mitochondria get tired and die, you're dying. Okay? It's mitochondria are one of the biggest focuses right now in functional and longevity medicine, where we're looking at mitochondrial health and mitochondrial rejuvenation. But back to toxins and free radicals. So the more free radicals you have, you damage DNA. You need antioxidants to neutralize the free radicals. The higher the toxic burden, the more production of free radicals. Now, your body naturally produces free radicals, and it used to be just useful, where you got free radicals and it provoked an antioxidant response and your body worked better. But today, we have way too many free radicals being produced. We don't eat enough high-quality food filled with antioxidants to neutralize the free radicals. Our liver can't recirculate, or we call it recycle, glutathione and make more glutathione, which it should be able to do, but it doesn't anymore. And for all these reasons, you're increasing the oxidative stress and the damage to your cells. This increases your risk for immune system disorders like cancer, autoimmune disease, anything to do with your immune system like allergies, chronic rhinitis, skin things, so eczema, psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease. So what I'm trying to say to you is toxins suppress your immune system. Toxins increase free radical damage, they accelerate aging, and they block how your hormones can work. So lower your toxic exposure, increase the elimination using medical foods, increase methylation ability by taking Super B. It is a specialized B complex that has methylated B vitamins within it. I never recommend just a plain vitamin B. I never recommend a B12, even if it's methylated, because your body works best when you have the whole complex of nutrients in the B family. And so a B complex is very effective. The thing is, people with MTHFR are and some of the MTR are, and that they don't methylate well. So even if you ate a ton or a truckload of green leafy vegetables, it's not going to give you the methylated folic acid and the methylcobalamin that you need to do the work of processing out toxins. Another toxin, I call it a toxin, but it's important when you're not a good methylator. Your estrogen and your testosterone become different metabolites that need to be removed from your body. This is why we ask you to poop every day and make sure you poop 2 to 3 times a day, because you're getting rid of these negative estrogen metabolites, which, if they stay in you, can increase your risk for breast and prostate cancer. And men get breast cancer as well, so don't be fooled into thinking not, right? So it's relevant to both men and women. If you have methylated Bs, you will neutralize these negative estrogen metabolites and be able to eliminate it from your bile and your bowels, so you're through pooping. People who don't methylate well are at much higher risk for immune system issues as well. Methylation is important to get rid of toxins. So think about it like this. You have a toxin in your body, and then you have to attach a methyl group to it, and then it makes its way out of your urine or your bowel movements. If you don't methylate it, it recirculates and it gets absorbed, and so what happens is, over time, the amount in your body just increases and increases, and this is where we end up with estrogen dominance, which is a topic for a different day. But overall, if you can't get rid of the toxins, they're going to increase. And so we don't just do medical food and liver supporting nutrients to get rid of toxins. We have to ensure that you're methylating well as well. So methylation is so important for healthy estrogen balance, and it's important for brain chemistry as well. I know, so many as wells, hey? So everything's connected to everything else. But I really wanted you to know why we focus on toxins through our process. When we finish the 28-day metabolic reset and we lower your body burden of toxins, you do not go right back to your lifestyle the way it was. So you don't start using the Lysol again because it's your favorite thing to clean the toilet with. You don't reintroduce all of the toxins, because you will end up back to where you started. So everything we teach you along this process is meant as a lifestyle change. When you're removing toxins, stick with those habits. Now, you may not be able to avoid moving into a new house or renovating your home or doing anything of that nature, but then you'd have to up your game in how you remove toxins and how you lower your exposure in other areas. Make sense? But for always, you will focus on lowering toxic burden and not reintroduce things. So, for me, I used to always tease and say, I pick wine as my toxin, and so I'm never going to color my hair. Well, guess what? I'm coloring my hair now. But yes, I did give up the wine 2 or 3 times a week, or sometimes more often even, right? Because we all do that. Glass of wine with friends, glass of wine with dinner, whatever. But it is about picking them. Some are worse than others, and you want to make some choices. But at the end of the day, we want to try and do as much as we can. And by the way, alcohol, huge toxin. Alcohol really increases oxidative stress. And one thing about oxidative stress that I want to remind you about is it damages collagen and accelerates aging on the outside as well. So you may not notice the accelerated aging on the inside, the wearing away of your immune system, until the cancer shows up, or the autoimmune disease shows up, or the heart attack shows up, or whatever the dementia shows up. You may not notice those things happening slowly on the inside. But when you have high oxidative stress, you will see it on your skin. Your collagen ages faster, you start to sag, your skin, well, my skin's not that thin, but you'll know, and I'm in my 50s, so you will notice that your skin thins and the vitality and vibrancy of it changes. And all of this is from oxidative stress, poor hormone balance, and low nutrients that help manage and maintain your skin health. So everything that happens on the inside is affecting what you see on the outside. And if you're tearing down skin, you're tearing down bone and ending up with osteoporosis as well. So a long story here with toxins and why you need to be aware of them. The other interesting thing is that in the mainstream medical community, there's a lot more talk on toxins now. I was listening to a podcast with an immunologist from Harvard, and she was talking about how toxins suppress the immune system and lead to, increase in life-threatening allergies and dampening the immune system for all these other diseases I mentioned. And she even mentioned like the smell of markers, the xylene markers, and the xylene from the markers. So do you see how there's yet another place to look? Like pens and, not pens, but your markers and things. If you're a teacher or you're doing flip charts or whatever, it's just toxins are everywhere. I've tried to lead you into categories, but even so, there's so many other things that will creep up and you go, oh, there's another toxin, right? So she's talking about toxins in the immune system. And then there's another psychiatrist who's from Harvard as well. And she's now talking about whole food and ultra-processed food and how it affects mental health. So to tie into the previous video on nutrition and how important food and food quality is, it's all coming together, that food and detoxification and lowering your toxic burden go together. So this is why on the 28-day reset process that you all start with, it's a difficult process, but for me it's more simple to do both at the same time with you than have you do each one on its own. So I don't want you to start with just the elimination diet and then do the detox. It just works to do it all together. And I'm very strict about it for this reason. You see results so quickly. I mean, people within 2 and 3 weeks are raving about their results. They're saying how their skin looks healthier. They're talking about their better sleep and their energy. And it's, I would guess 90% of our patients have these stellar results if they stick to the process. And then the rest of them, if they're sticking to the process, at least I know what else I need to look at to help move you along. But if you're going to not do the process, it is so much harder to treat hormones when we're fighting against all of these other things. And the thing about hormone balancing is, yes, hormones are exceptionally vital, in my opinion, in my medical opinion, for healthy aging and longevity. I just don't think you can have a longevity program that focuses on food and muscle and rapamycin and all, sirtuin inhibitors and looking at your genes and your whole genome sequencing, and you don't take hormone replacement therapy if you need it, if your levels are on the low end. Because we've known for decades that hormone balancing and bringing you back to optimal levels enhances your performance and reduces risk for many, many diseases. So I can't see how anyone can put together a longevity program or a precision medicine program and exclude hormone balancing from it. So for me and our clinic and the programs I create, I absolutely focus on bioidentical hormone replacement for healthy aging and vitality. But you can't do that without dealing with the inflammation, dealing with the immune system disruption, dealing with the toxins that block hormones from working. And you can't do it safely if you have toxins, because then we're looking at far-reaching consequences that are negative to your health, including raising your risk for cancer, which is not what I signed up for. When I have you work with me, I'm giving you vitality, healthy aging, and longevity, and not trying to cause you any ill health from it. I'm Dr. Natasha Iyer, and I'm dedicated to helping you live younger, longer.